The following is a paid advertisement. The views expressed are the sole responsibility of the advertiser.
Put the power back in your hands. This is Behind the Law with attorney Justin Clark.
Welcome to the show. Happy weekend to you. A great show lined up. Please allow me to introduce you to my beautiful co-host. As always, Michaela Nichols is here. Hello, Michaela. How are you?
Great.
We are live here to answer any questions that you may have. We'll leave the phone number on the screen during the entire program, 321-282-1055. Here is what is coming up today. A lot of people still have storm damage. Our good buddy Greg Crack will be here to talk about when to file a claim. Should you file? Should you not file? What is covered? What is not? Very important stuff, especially post-Hurricane Ian. Also, Corey Cohen, a criminal defense attorney who I've known for a long time, will be here. And what I want to ask him is this. You always hear about San Francisco. People are just going into Walgreens and stealing things. They're not charging you with a crime. It's ridiculous. Is that going on here? I sure hope it is not. We are live again, 321-282-1055. Are you ready?
I am.
Here's what we're going to do. Very, very short break. When we return, Greg Crack talks about when to file claims on your insurance. Does credit card debt have you spinning out of control? You are not helpless. At Attorneys Justin Clark & Associates, our goal is to lower or even eliminate your credit card debt. Call me today or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life. Is student loan debt holding you back? I'm Attorney Justin Clark. You may have the power to lower or even eliminate the payments that have you living paycheck to paycheck. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your life. Welcome back to the show. I know many of you experienced damage with your house during Hurricane Ian, or even maybe prior to that. I mean, storms roll through Central Florida all summer long. We know that. It's just, when do you file a claim for damage to your home, and when do you not file a claim? And what does that insurance policy cover? Greg Crack is here, our good friend, first-party insurance guy, to the stars, really. You do a great job, as always. But how do I know? A lot of people, they simply don't know. These insurance policies are thick. They don't know what's covered. They don't know what is not covered. Where do I begin?
That's a great question. Very difficult to interpret those insurance policies. If you have severe damage, first thing you should do is try and mitigate that damage. That's the first thing you do. Try and prevent it from getting worse. Especially there's so many people that suffered severe damage from Ian. Do the best job that you can to prevent the water damage from turning into mold, so on and so forth. Next thing, if you're not sure if it's covered, call your insurance company. I would suggest doing that initially, but if you're afraid to, then you can call my firm or call someone with expertise in this area. Call a law firm that's going to give you a free consultation. You know, we review all claims for free, let you know our opinion, whether you should make a claim or not, and then you can move forward. Yeah,
it only makes sense for you to call Greg's firm at 321-282-1055. Again, because there's no charge to this. This is a free service that he's offering you, and we really appreciate what you're doing. But the question that I have is, you talk to a Social Security attorney, they'll always say, oh, don't even call us until you get denied. Is it like that in insurance, or should I call you first before the insurance company denies me?
You can call either before or after.
Okay.
Really doesn't make, well, I shouldn't say it doesn't make a difference. If you're on the fence and you're afraid that their insurance company may raise your premiums or later on non-renew you or drop you just if you make a claim, then call us first.
Yeah.
We can give you a free opinion whether we think it's covered. Now, are we right every single time? Of course not, but we have a good idea. I've been doing this for almost 18 years. So I've read so many insurance policies that'll make your head spin.
Right.
And I have a pretty good idea on how to interpret it and whether certain things are covered or not. So call us first. We can let you know if we think it's covered. If so, you move forward, again, at no charge, and then if you do get denied or you don't get paid out what you're owed to make the repairs, then you can talk to us about representing you.
A lot of people don't like attorneys, let's be honest. I don't think she did before doing this program, no offense, not trying to sell you out, Michaela.
Yeah, way to call me out.
But a lot of people think, I don't need a lawyer, I'm just going to call the insurance company myself, and if the insurance company denies it, then they're right. I've been paying them a premium, they're on my team, and that scares me a little bit because these insurance companies, while yes, you're their client, you're their customer, their job really at the end of the day is to pay as little as they can. They're trying to run a business, Greg. There must be a million times where you've seen clients come to your office who were initially denied, who said, this doesn't feel right to me, and once they hire a lawyer, you're able to overturn that denial.
That is true. So many people come to me and say, look, I've been paying my premiums for years, sometimes even decades.
Yeah.
And my insurance company's been great. My question is, well, how many times have you made a claim? And they said, none until now. I said, well, insurance companies are notorious for taking in those premiums but not wanting to pay money out on claims. So it's unfortunately, you know, a lot of this has gotten political with insurance claims and the insurance market in Florida. Insurance adjusters now, compared to when I first started doing this type of law decades ago, they seem to go out with the approach of, let's see if we can deny this claim first, rather than saying, what coverage can we find for the homeowner?
Right.
So it seems like that's their mindset. Can we deny this? Can we hire an expert that goes out there and says, nope, the damage was caused by X, Y, and Z. Oh, by the way, it's not covered under the policy.
And roofs, let's be honest, are very expensive. I think that any homeowner, if they need a new roof, they would rather have their insurance company pay for the roof. It just makes sense. Obviously, we're not committing any insurance fraud here too, but there's this gray area that I see with water damage versus wind damage. What is the difference in these two things, and why does it affect whether my insurance company covers my damage or not?
Yeah. Well, whether it's water damage versus wind damage, and I'm trying to simplify it, it's not always this easy to determine. But if the water comes in from the ground and damages your home, that's typically flood. That's not going to be covered under your typical homeowner's policy. You have to have separate flood coverage for that. If it comes in through walls, windows, and especially from up above from the roof, that's typically covered and caused by wind.
Yeah.
Now, with the wind damage, there's some other exclusions that potentially can apply, but again, I strongly advise you, seek out an attorney's advice. Again, it's not going to cost you anything. Go talk to someone that's been through this before and can interpret those policies with whatever damage you have that can give you some advice on what to do.
Let's say that I was in my house during Hurricane Ian, and then a stain is on the ceiling now. I've never seen this stain before. Is that enough to prompt me to really look in to see what this stain is from?
Yes, not necessarily enough to go ahead and make a claim right away. I would say hold off on that, get a contractor out, see what caused that, see if you have any additional damage.
Yeah.
You know, as most people know, most people have deductibles, especially during hurricane, you have a high deductible. So it's 2% of your insurance policy, and that's usually going to be pretty high. So if it's going to cost a couple $100 to repair it, I'd say don't make the claim.
So a deductible is different during a hurricane versus regular time?
Correct.
Okay.
Most people either have a 2%, 5%, or 10% deductible. When I give those percentages, it's a percentage of what the overall home is insured for. So if it's insured for $100, you know, I'm just throwing out numbers here, it's a $10 hurricane deductible if you have a 10% deductible, and so on and so forth. But usually that's a pretty high number, and so you're self-insured up until that point. So, you know, but if you're not sure, if you're on the fence whether, oh, do I have enough damage that's above my deductible or not, I would say go forward and make the claim because you don't want to delay.
So, all right, so if my house is damaged in a hurricane, generally speaking, it's about 2% of the overall insurance coverage I have.
Correct.
Regardless of how much the repairs cost, it's going to go back to how much coverage I have.
Exactly.
So that can be a significant amount. You know, if you start talking about $1 million house, now you're looking at, I don't know math. Can anyone have a calculator? It's a lot. It's a lot. Why did I set myself up for failure?
I don't know, but then you looked at me and then I got nervous because I can't do math.
I was trying to put you on the spot,
No,
too.
please don't.
So you know, that is obviously a significant amount, so you really have to balance that out, I guess, especially if the damage is minimal. But when you start talking about an entire roof, I mean, I'm not a roofer, but you're talking $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 sometimes to replace a roof, right?
Correct, yes.
And how does it work then with your fees? Because I've heard you say on the show before, and I appreciate it, that what you're doing is that I don't have to pay you anything up front.
That's correct. We don't charge any retainer fees. You don't pay me by the hour. Similar to personal injury attorneys, we only get paid if we're successful in the case.
Right.
So we try and resolve, as I said before to you, we try and resolve all of our insurance disputes, you know, with the insurance companies without having to go into litigation. Nobody comes to me and says, I can't wait to file a lawsuit.
Right.
Let's go run to the courthouse.
Oh yeah.
They
Get
don't
some
want
depositions taken.
Exactly. They've got better time. They've got better things to do with their time than to go into litigation. They want to say, Greg, let's get this resolved as quickly as possible, and I'll do my best to do that. You know, litigation is a last resort always. Right. So if we're able to resolve it without going into a lawsuit, which we try to, then, you know, we get paid a small percentage of what we recover for the property owner. They don't have to pay us anything up front, and if we don't recover anything for them, we work for free.
It just makes you think, why in the world would you not call Greg if you've had any damage to your home? Good news for you, you can talk to him right this very second, off the air, 321-282-1055. You don't know what's covered. I understand that. I don't know what's covered half the time. Greg does. He has committed his career to this area of law. There's no one I'd rather you call than Greg Crack for any damage to your home. This first-party insurance, be very careful, okay? I realize that you're their customer and you've been writing them checks, but their job at the end of the day is to pay you as little as possible. I'm sorry to say it, but that's just absolutely true. Greg will not charge you a single penny. What are you seeing mostly now from Hurricane Ian? Is it mostly flood, mostly wind? Because it seems to me that in Central Florida, it became more of a flooding event than a wind event for us.
It was, but we still had some hurricane force gusts that came through here. So Central Florida did get hit by some very high winds, but as you mentioned, a lot of flood as well.
Yeah.
So, and not a lot of people, unless they're in a flood zone, carry the extra flood insurance, which I definitely recommend, but talk to your insurance agent about that. But we're seeing both. We're seeing a good bit of wind damage and flood as well, both. But sometimes it's hard to tell what caused the actual damage to your home.
What do I have a certain amount of time to make a claim, like after a hurricane? Is it like a month, or because like let's say, you know, the roof thing, we see it and I'm like, I don't know. Do I have to call right away and be like, I think that was because of the hurricane?
Well, everyone's insurance policy says this. It says you are required to give prompt notice. So as soon as you realize that you have damage that is reasonably above your deductible, you have a duty under that policy to call your insurance company and report it.
Got it.
So under Florida law, there's a statute that says you have up to 2 years, but you don't want to do that. You still have that obligation under your insurance policy to give notice as soon as you're aware of it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, the sooner the better. What are some of the reasons why insurance companies fight me on repairing my roof? What are their defenses? Why are they saying, no, not our responsibility, not covered?
I don't think we have enough time for that.
Oh, yeah? It's a laundry list, huh?
It is. One, like Michaela just brought up, is late reporting. They give that defense quite a bit. They say, nope, you didn't tell us in time. We didn't get a chance to look at it right away after the storm. Well, most people, they don't know, unless it's from a hurricane and they have severe damage, they don't know that they have roof damage after a hailstorm or after a windstorm.
Sure.
And how many people, I know I don't, get up on their roof and walk their roof on a regular basis?
No.
Yes.
That's crazy.
So I know, a lot of times roofers get a bad reputation for going and knocking on doors, and I understand that. I do understand that. But most people, especially people 50 and up, are not going to be getting up on their roof and checking.
Very true. Greg Crack, is always a pleasure to have you here, buddy. We're going to do another show after this together, too.
Can't wait. Appreciate it.
I just think your information is so important and so timely right now because of the storms coming through. And it's really, there's a big fight out there with insurance companies. I get it. And the fact that he is not going to charge you a penny to go through this information with you. Call right now, 321-282-1055. You hear about San Francisco, you can go shopping for free at Walgreens, basically. They won't charge you with a crime. Is that happening here right now? Corey Cohen is up next to answer that question as Behind the Law continues. Does student loan debt have you spinning out of control? You are not helpless. At Attorneys Justin Clark and Associates, our goal is to lower or even eliminate your monthly payments. Call me today or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life. Here we are with personal injury attorney Michael Mills. But Michael, you're way more than an attorney. You've been able to bridge the gap between doctor, lawyer, and consumer with your Injury Assistance Network, or IAN as it's known. Tell me about it.
Well, what it is basically it's a online personal injury network of providers, both medical and service, and it just helps personal injury attorneys and the general public find quality healthcare providers and service providers to take care of them when they've been injured in an accident. Because
the medical part of it is a huge piece in getting these clients recovered. You're a great personal injury attorney, though, as well. A lot of advertisement for PI guys out there. What separates you?
22 years.
Yeah.
My first 6 years, I did work for the insurance companies. I worked at one of the largest insurance defense firms in Florida. And then for the last 16 years, I've been representing the actual injured victims, as well as some of the providers as well, doing PIP work. Okay. So I'm able to take that, what I learned, and bring it to the plaintiff side.
Excellent, man. Keep up the wonderful work. And whether you're a doctor, whether you're a lawyer, or a consumer who's been injured in an accident, call Michael Mills today. He's over on the good guy side, I would say, right?
Yes, absolutely.
What side did you like better?
This side, definitely. I've come to the light.
Exactly. I'm glad you did. Michael Mills, the Injury Assistance Law Firm. Give him a call today if you've been injured in an accident. But again, if you're a doctor or a lawyer, you need help finding help in that regard, call Michael Mills. Do IRS threats have you spinning out of control? You are not helpless. At Attorneys Justin Clark and Associates, our goal is to lower or even eliminate your IRS debt. Call me today or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life. Welcome back to the show. You've read all the articles nationwide, really, about places like San Francisco and other cities in California where literally you can go into the local Walgreens, steal, I think, $1,000 worth of stuff, and they can't prosecute you. Is that going on here right now? I sure hope it's not. But who better to ask than our good friend, criminal defense attorney Corey Cohen. Corey, welcome to the show. First time here, I believe.
It is, thank you.
I played a lot of basketball with you, but first time we've done. It was probably, we're both getting old, you know, Michaela?
We have different styles.
Yeah. Anyway, so what's going on in Central Florida? Is this happening in Central Florida where you can walk into a store, steal $900 worth of stuff, and they can't prosecute you?
No, not at all.
Oh, thank goodness. That's what I wanted to hear. That's the right answer.
I know. So in Florida, if it's $100 or less, it's a petty theft, second-degree misdemeanor. $100 to $750 is still a misdemeanor, but a little bit higher, and $750 or more is a felony.
Really?
I've had clients that steal 1 pack of gum and get arrested.
Really?
So they don't care.
So they will charge you with this as well?
They will charge you. The state will prosecute you. You could get probation, jail, fines, a record. Sure.
Really? Unbelievable. I've also heard about this TikTok trend, which is
You heard about a TikTok trend?
He told me, actually, before the show, if you want the truth. Where people are going to Walmart and stealing items, but then saying we're going to bring them back, but they're still getting charged. What is this? And TikTok trends, this is not good, right? I've never heard of someone say, oh, we had a TikTok trend and it went well. It's normally you bang your head against the wall.
No, it leads to bad things. I've had a couple people call me just in the last couple of weeks. What they do is they show the Walmart employee the item. They say, I'm going to steal this. I'm going to walk out of your store. They walk to security thinking nothing's going to happen, and they get arrested.
Is that right?
So, sure.
What? I just don't know why you would do that, honestly.
I don't know.
You're the one that spends a lot of time on TikTok, and we're teaching you about the trend.
Yeah, no, I didn't know this was a thing.
You didn't know?
No.
Well, good. Don't go to Walmart.
I guess I'm on the safe
things.
side of TikTok.
It's dangerous.
So let me get this straight. So they're going up and basically telling the security people, hey, we're stealing this, but we're going to bring it back.
Correct.
And then they're literally walking out with the stuff.
Correct. And I think the intent, maybe they don't believe they have the criminal intent at that point. But the Walmart employee definitely disagrees with that.
Oh my gosh. How is crime generally over the last couple of years, really since the pandemic in Central Florida?
So when COVID first hit, we got a lot of domestic violence cases. A lot of people stuck at home, not working, not going out. That was huge. We didn't get a lot of DUIs because bars were closed, restaurants were closed.
Makes sense.
Now we're getting a lot of DUIs, a lot more shooting cases, a lot more murders. So it's definitely an upward trend right now.
So, and you're down in the trenches. Obviously, you have a pretty big firm here that focuses on criminal law. You can definitively say that there was more domestic violence calls to your office during the pandemic.
That was probably about 90% of our calls.
Really?
People weren't going out. They were stuck at home.
It's not a good relationship problem. I mean, you can't spend a few days together, my goodness. You work a puzzle or something.
Well, I think the stress of people losing their jobs, that contributed a lot to it as well.
When I've been around you, and again, we've played basketball with some state attorneys and things like that too, and you're on the opposite side of things, but I've noticed you have quite a close relationship oftentimes with the people at the state attorney's office. How is that helpful for you in representing your client who's been charged with a crime when you know the state attorney?
It helps a lot. A lot of it is about trust, about relationships. If I tell a prosecutor something, they'll typically trust me and know that I'm telling them the truth. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
And it does benefit the client because the client's getting a better deal. They're getting breaks that they typically wouldn't. We get a lot of cases dropped before they even go anywhere, because we reach out to the prosecutor and we say, this is what really happened. You didn't get the full story.
Right.
And it works.
Are there certain counties in this market that are better to get charged with a crime in than others?
So, yes. Orange County for sure, because it's just a lot more volume. They're busier. Seminole County, Polk County, Lake County are smaller. They spend more time on their case, more investigation. And you have to remember, it all starts from the police.
Yeah.
Did the police do a proper investigation? So if you have a better police agency, then you have a stronger case going forward.
And I'm not saying by any means go out and commit a crime in certain counties. I'm just saying I have noticed that there are probably some counties where you get better deals right out of the gate than other counties. But here's what you should do. Charged with a crime or even getting a call from a detective saying they're investigating you, that is the time to call this man right here, 321-282-1055. Corey would be happy to meet up with you. What about murders in general? Are they up, down, stayed the same around here? Do you know?
No, they're up.
Really?
A lot of shootings are up, and therefore murders are up, unfortunately. And we get quite a few calls. It seems like there's, and I'm not sure how to explain. Downtown Orlando is getting worse. I don't know why, but there was just a shooting there recently. Now they're improving security.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of drug deals gone wrong type murders, but it's definitely up.
When I'm charged with a crime and I go visit your office, should I be honest with you about what I've done or not done, or should I not be honest with you?
So I prefer honesty. I don't want any surprises. I want to be able to reach out to the prosecutor, know my case, know what weaknesses and strengths I have.
Right.
So if you're not honest, it could lead to an ambush, which is never good.
That's right. Do I bring anyone with me? Like, mom's paying for my legal fees. Sure. Do I bring mom into your office, or do I say, Mom, you need to stay outside?
Honestly, if it makes you feel more comfortable, I'm fine with it. I explain the confidentiality, how there's not a attorney-client relationship because there's a third party here. But as long as the client's fine with it, I don't mind.
Charged with a crime and you're defending me during the case, throughout the case, and at some point the state comes to us with an offer, right? A plea, whatever you want to call it. I feel like I'm innocent. I didn't do it, okay? But then their offer's not so bad either. What goes into that decision-making process with you and your client who's been charged with this crime? Like, tough call sometimes.
So we have clients that say, look, I don't want any plea offer. I didn't do it. We still have to tell them the plea offer.
Sure.
We're obligated, because if they go to trial and lose, they're going to say they didn't know the offer. I also explain to clients there's a lot of innocent people in prison. There's innocent people that have been killed on death row, and then DNA comes out years later, and it's like, whoops.
Yeah.
So I go through that with clients, and I tell them they'd much rather be innocent on the outside than in prison or jail.
That's right. Very
good
true.
Point. But ultimately, it's up to the client.
It is. And do you have some clients who are just absolutely, I'm going to trial no matter what? Does that happen?
We
at
do.
times?
I have one now, a federal case, and it's a gun case, and he wants a trial, and that's fine.
Well, isn't the conviction rate in federal court astounding?
So my understanding is the federal conviction rate is 98%.
98%.
But I'm the 2%, so we've got this.
Maybe, I don't know. I might have a second meeting with that client if I were you. Who knows?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So Orange County is probably a little bit easier. You get better deals there. Is Polk County the worst, or is that just in the news?
The sheriff is very tough in Polk County, as you know.
Right.
We do get a lot of those cases, a lot of the prostitution cases, the sex cases. They love those stings because of the glamour. It's newsworthy. But they're tough.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
And why is he so tough? I guess, is he just doing something right that makes it a difficult case to defend?
He knows his audience. I mean, he can tell his people, you can shoot somebody and you won't get charged, and they love it. Cool. But we do have cases in Polk that we work out great deals on, and it does happen.
Corey Cohen, excellent job, buddy. If you have any criminal questions, Corey will be happy to answer them. Last quick break. When we return, we will end the show, as always, with What Did You Learn? You own a house. You have windows and doors, obviously. When is it time to replace those windows and doors? I don't know. You know who does know? Dan Brigman does. He's with Renewal by Andersen. Welcome to the show, buddy. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great.
People know it's time to replace the roof because it's leaking. They know it's time to replace the driveway because it's cracking. Windows and doors, when is it time to replace them?
You know, truthfully, the sad answer is if you've got single pane windows today.
Yeah.
If you've got double pane windows that are over 5 years old or 7 years old, right in that time frame, you need to look at replacing them.
They look so much better when replaced, but also when you think about the electric bill, huge difference.
Big difference. There's a lot of new technology that goes out there. You can save anywhere from 25%, in some cases as high as 40% on your electric bill.
And you talk about vinyl windows sometimes. Are those good or bad?
Well, in Florida, they're bad. Vinyl's a fancy word for plastic.
Yeah.
And when you heat plastic up, it loses its rigidity, puts pressure on the glass pack, it fails, you get the fogging in the windows, and nobody likes to look through fog.
I don't know what I need. How much does it cost to have you come out and tell me what I need?
It doesn't cost you anything but your time.
Literally the only place to go for windows and doors, in my opinion. The best in the business. You know that. You should know that as well. Call Renewal by Andersen today. You will not be disappointed, I promise you. They'll come out, tell you what you need. Great price, great service. Renewal by Andersen. Having debt can leave you feeling helpless. I'm attorney Justin Clark. Filing for bankruptcy may give you the power to lower or even eliminate the payments that have you living paycheck to paycheck. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your life. When it comes to roofing, there's one place I would call. Obviously, Universal Roof and Contracting. I have Justin here. Corey is here. Welcome, guys. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Great to have you back. 30 years in business. Obviously trustworthy, family-owned, but also veteran-owned. Tell me what you have going on for the veterans.
So we do this every year around this time. We actually give a roof away to a veteran in need. So the way to get into that is you go to our website at universalroof.com. There's going to be a banner at the top of their webpage, and you just click on that. You get to nominate your veteran. You get to tell their story, explain what they need, and during this time, we're actually going to pick a winner on our radio show on Veterans Day, and we're going to announce that winner live on the air.
Love it. When it comes to a roof, it's an expensive thing. It really is, and sometimes the insurance covers it. Sometimes you have to stroke a check. The difference often is the inspection process at the beginning. Tell me about your inspection process.
Yeah, it's absolutely free for us to come out and do a free inspection. We're going to get on property. We're going to actually get on the roof. We're going to get in the attic. We're going to walk the perimeter and develop a scope of work that works for the homeowner, that solves their problem and ultimately gives them the roof that they want and need.
And that's the most important part. And you're sitting at the kitchen table with them. You're not taking aerial photos. You're actually going there to see what do we really need? What roof do we need? And sometimes it's repair, sometimes it's replace, and you never overpromise. I know when it comes to my family, to my roof, Universal Roof and Contracting is the place that I would go. And you two are also super cool, by the way, as you know. Awesome. Do yourself a favor. If you need a roof, it's Universal Roof and Contracting. Call them today. Excellent show today. I hope you enjoyed it, but we wrap it up as always with what did we learn? Michaela, what did you learn? I have a feeling TikTok's about to make an appearance.
No, I think I'm going to let you explain the TikTok one since you're older.
Considering I don't know how to log in.
Yeah, basically. Okay. But no, I learned you only have so long to make a claim after a hurricane, which would make sense.
And it could be up to 2 years, but Greg was very clear that the sooner the better, because you have an obligation to let them know as soon as you know.
Yeah, I feel like 2 years is a little long, but I guess.
Well, that's a statute of limitations. I learned that, look, don't go into Walmart under the guise of TikTok and say, I'm going to steal this, and then walk out, because you can still be charged with a crime.
Yeah.
But you should just know that. That's one of the things you should just know when you're, born.
Well,
when you come out of the womb, don't just go steal things and say, oh, I wasn't really meaning to steal it.
Common sense is acquired.
Michaela Nichols, excellent job as always. Thank you very much. Thank you as always for joining us this weekend. We'll see you again next week for more Behind the Law.
The proceeding was a paid advertisement. The views expressed were the sole responsibility of the advertiser.